Hi, everyone. How are you guys? Hi, Larry and Craig and P. Whitkin. And good morning, John. How are you? And hi, Leanne. Hi, Barbara. How's everyone doing? So what are we going to talk about tonight? The Q&As are always like, just roll with it, right? Just roll with it. Can you see my dog behind on that side? Oh, and there's this one. So you see the Callie in the background there. And then this is little Gussie. And it's so funny because it seems like anytime I go live for Q&A, that's when Gus is like, "Oh, I want to be on your lap, Mom." Like, no, not right now. Not right now. It's not a good time. Good morning, and good afternoon, and good evening. And hi, Angela from South Carolina. How are you? And hi, Dawn. How are you? I hope everyone's doing well. Jeff just got a flight, so he is not going to be coming in before we end. And that means that the dogs are already being obnoxious, but they won't be barking. So that's always good. Gus, what is wrong, baby? I don't know what's wrong with him. All right. So if you're new to the Q&A, this is a time when you guys can ask any questions that you have about anything cooking related. I may or may not know the answer, but I'll do my best. And then also people in that are viewing, they also, jump into the chat and things like that. So I don't know why. I feel like my glasses are all messed up or something. Anyway, so feel free to ask any questions and we'll just roll with it. I don't think I have any updates. Well, I do have one update. It's a pretty big one, actually. And that is that I have finally hired somebody to help me, which is, oh my gosh, it has been so great. So right now, like I hired her on the 9th of September, and I cannot believe how fast she's picking up everything. It is going so well. So right now, what she's helping me with is admit people to the Facebook groups, because literally that could take me a couple hours a day. I mean, that was insane, right? So she's doing that for me. She's also scheduling the lives for me. So she schedules these, and then she puts all the information into my email service provider that sends out the email to everybody that wants to be notified of when I'm going live. So she's doing all that. She is also doing some posting of recipes to my business page, and she will be doing some posting to some Facebook groups so I can start to get my recipes out, because I never have time to do that. So that's pretty good. So I'm really excited about that. All right. I saw some other people come in. Hi, Barb. How are you? You made the corned beef and cabbage for lunch. That's awesome. That's a kind of a complicated recipe. I don't know if I want to make it for lunch, but that's awesome. I love that recipe. Hi, George. How are you? Oh my gosh. George says he was emailing Jeff. Jeff is flying, so he won't get it until probably tomorrow. But anyway. Oh, Leanne had pizza picked up, so no cooking for her. Oh, that's kind of a funny story. So, I often ask Jeff what he wants for dinner, right? Because I don't mind making pretty much anything. I mean, I will make just whatever he wants. So he said, pizza. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I don't really feel like making the pizza crust, making the marinara sauce. I don't have the cheese. He'll have to go to the grocery store. Then we have to preheat the pizza oven, all this stuff. And I'm like, nah, pick again. So then he's like, burritos. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The only thing I have are flour tortillas. I don't have anything. I have to make the meat mixture, blah, blah, blah. Have him go to the store. And I'm like, nah. And then he was like, sausage and spinach tortellini soup. And he knows we just did that video. So he knows that's in the refrigerator. So I'm like, bingo, that's it. So that's in the slow cooker, just kind of warming up. So easy dinner for me tonight too. Hi, Denise. How are you? Our pizza's popular. Craig said that he had pizza tonight too. So pizza's popular tonight. I love making pizza. I really do. But it's just too complicated tonight. Hi, Barbara. How are you? I hope all is well. Good evening, Barbara Barnes. How are you? Oh, Barbara says the corned beef and cabbage is really easy. It's just a little time consuming. It is. It is. There's several steps to that one, right? So it's not a dump and go. But I've been doing a lot of the dump and cook recipes lately. So I think you guys will be happy with that. Hi, Joni. Hi, Alyssa. How are you? Hi, Lauren. How are you? Um, oh, you know what, John? That's good. Toast, cheese, and topping of your choice. There you go. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Good to see you. All right. Any questions for me? Anything you want to talk about? I keep looking over there. I always tell people this, like my camera's right there, but I look over here because that is where all of the messages come in. They come in over to the right, and I can't move them. It would be so nice if I could move them. You know what I might be able to do though? Didn't even think about this. I'm so silly. I can kind of close in my screen a little bit. Oh, well, that's a little bit better. Hi, Maria. How are you? Oh, Leanne. You're going to have me, as somebody put it, are you going to go to the dark side? I don't consider the Instant Pot going to the dark side, though. Okay, so I've given this a lot of thought because, as we probably all know, the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crispers are becoming extremely hard to find in the US, especially. They're not on the Ninja website. They're just becoming harder and harder to find, which is kind of an indication that they're phasing them out. Why? I have no idea, because they work great, but that's not my decision. That's Ninja. I keep hoping, like crossing fingers, that maybe they're going to surprise us with something new around the holidays, but I just don't know. So I've been looking into alternatives, and there is an Instant Pot that does kind of the same thing. It's not the same as the Duo Crisp. Wasn't really pleased with the Duo Crisp, not because I have anything against Instant Pot, because I don't, but I didn't like the fact that there wasn't as many options on the saute function as you have on the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper. And there was a couple other things I didn't like. I really didn't like the lid. And I just all around did not think it did as good of a job as the Ninja Foodi. But there is a new one, and I'm willing to try it out. So I think that I'm going to probably give that a shot just to see if it's going to be a good replacement for the Ninja Foodi, because I think that probably we're all going to have to be looking at that pretty soon. So, or anybody that has the Ninja Foodi. So, yeah, I don't remember what it's called though. That's the problem. So I can't give you a straight answer on that one. I know it has Bluetooth, and I know it's at Kohl's. And I also know that they don't allow the 40% off coupon, or I would already have one. So I think they're kind of pricey. I don't even remember the price, but I think they're close to $200. But I am going to plan on getting one and trying it out, especially trying my recipes out in it to see, are there any changes that would need to be made? And I think they're going to work fairly similar. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. They'll work just about the same. Let's just change the word up. When you can't pronounce it, change the word up. Anyway, so that's my answer. I would buy the Instant Pot, of course. That's the only other option, really. I don't think I would go with anything else. I mean, I think there are some other spin-offs, but I would stick with Instant Pot or Ninja Foodi. All right. Denise, yes. Ninja did that with the hot and cold blender, but they have it in other countries. Yes. And I changed my hot and cold blender group to easy blender recipes because, I didn't want to just be for the hot and cold blender when people can't really get them anymore. But in the UK, they're still available. I don't know if they're actually making them anymore though. So they may stop being available there. I don't know the answer to that either. But yeah, I love that blender. Although it was a little pain to clean. It was a little heavy. I mean, it just did such a great job with sauces and things. So, oh boy, John's giving us a little insight here. So John says Ninja heavily discounted here at the present. John is in Australia. And what that can mean, or one or two things, they're just getting ready for the holidays, but it's a little early, I think, or they're starting to get rid of inventory. Yikes. What are we going to do, guys? I'm in shock about the Ninja Foodi. I mean, I'm just in shock of all the appliances. That one, like, has been reliable for me. It works as predicted. I just love it. It does everything that I want in one appliance. I mean, literally, I could get rid of every other appliance that I have and just use that. I mean, I just love it. So I'm just shocked about this, and I don't have word for sure that it's discontinued. I want to be clear about that. I don't have any insider knowledge or anything. It's just when you can't find them for it'll be a year in January. It'll be a year that they've been sort of, going down in being able to find them. Oh, Cynthia, great. She says, good evening, and good evening to you. I'm excited for someone to try the new Instant Pot. I have both Ninja and Instant Pot products, and I love them both. Yeah, I had an Instant Pot. I didn't use it that much because I didn't do that type of cooking that much, right? And I was only really introduced to pressure cooking when I got the Ninja Foodi because, I mean, I did use the Instant Pot before. Obviously I did. But I really got into it with the Ninja Foodi because I liked the fact that I could crisp up things afterwards if need be, right? I mean, with soups and things like that, you don't need to. But when you're doing some other things, I mean, it really comes in handy to have that option to just, for the original one, you just switch the lid and then you crisp it up. Okay, yeah, John is saying that the Ninja Foodi one lid is down from $7.99 to $4.99. Now, that's Australian. Outrageous. No, it's about 30% less, or those prices are 30% more with the exchange rate for the US. But that is the first sign when they start going down. Joni, I see you in the chat, but I don't see any message from you. Just so you know, if you're messaging, it's not coming through. It's just coming up with your name, but not, it's just blank. So I'm not sure what's going on. Hey, Deb, how are you? Barb, I wish I knew. It is so great. Oh, are you asking that is why they're getting rid of it because it's wonderful? Or why are they getting rid of it because it's so wonderful? Yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I had some answers. Colleen, I'm going to get to you too. Just one second. Marla, yeah, I know. I love it too. It's just a pain when these things happen. And they do it quite frequently with appliances. It's not just Ninja. I mean, there's other appliances that people, come to love, or, different coffee makers, different things like that. And then they discontinue them. And I mean, I hope they're making room for something better. That I'm all for. But I don't think the Ninja Combi is actually a good replacement for the Ninja Foodi because it doesn't pressure cook. I love the Ninja Combi, but it is different. It is very different in my opinion. Okay, so Colleen, hi, how are you? So Colleen, I'm going to put this up because other people on Facebook can't see it. Just a funny story. Went to the grocery store and got a whole tenderloin on sale and asked the butcher to cut it for me. Yep, 1 Chateaubriand, 4 fillets, and the rest cubed for stir fry. He cubed it like a cube steak. Oh, that is funny. That's funny. I buy whole tenderloins a lot at Sam's Club. I've never thought to ask them to butcher it for me. I wonder if they would. That would save a little bit of time. Okay, so George is seeing the same thing. The 500 UK, the OP, these are the 2 lid models, is reduced from $229 to $139.99. Well, snag them up while you can, Hi, Melba, how are you? And RMM says a year ago, my local BJ said the Foodi for around $60. And when I saw the combi on their website with all the extras for a good price, yeah, they started doing some pretty good discounts last year for the Foodi, and I didn't really pick up on what was going on. So now I know. now I'm an expert. When they start really deeply discounting, they're just getting rid of inventory and they're probably not getting it back. Okay, so Barb says Sam's here in California has not had a problem cutting meat for you, or has. I think it has not had a problem. Yeah, Larry, the Instant Pot has Bluetooth. I don't know if that's the same as Wi-Fi. Would you consider that the same as Wi-Fi? I might have said Wi-Fi earlier, but it's Bluetooth. And I don't know how reliable it is, but when I get it, I'll try it out and see. I haven't actually clicked the buy yet. So, oh, good. Hope. Hi, how are you? Hope says my Sam's Club butchers for free. Awesome. I never even, it just never even occurred to me. I go in and get the whole tenderloin and I put it in the cart and I bring it on home and I butcher it up myself. And sometimes it's not the best job. So that's awesome. Okay, John, I'm going to get rid of this person if you haven't already. We'll just block them. That's just a scammer. Okay. Hi, Bonnie. How are you? Good to see you. I don't know why my voice is cracking. I haven't been talking all day, but I don't know. All right. I still haven't seen too many questions. So maybe it's just not a question night. Maybe we'll just have a little chat and then I'll say goodnight. I think I turned oh yeah, I did. I was going to say, I hope I turned the slow cook down from, I had it on low in the Possible Pro cooker. And I hope I turned it to keep warm, or it'll just get rid of all the liquid in there. Because that Possible Pro cooker, that thing's no joke. Because of the material it's made out of and all that stuff, it really does a crazy job. Why is that still showing up? I guess I have to delete it too. I'm sorry. There's a comment. It's not a bad comment. It's just a scammy comment. Anybody who starts off there, hey there, beautiful, I'd really like to be your friend. Yeah, they're a spammer. Bye-bye. Don't know who you are. Oh, that's right, John. You're on YouTube. It's a Facebook one. It's one of those common ones that people love to post on things. They just, it's so creepy. I have to go through my Facebook business page quite frequently, actually, because they will sneak in these comments on other people's comments underneath of a post of mine. So I could be posting about a recipe, and then let's say Bonnie said, "Oh, that looks great, Louise." Well, next thing you know, Bonnie might have a message from this creep saying, "Hey there, beautiful. I sent you a friend request. I'd really like to get you." I'm like, Lord, go join a dating site. But really, they're scammers. They're not even really trying to get to know anybody. They're trying to probably steal from somebody. Oh, Sandra, how are you? I just talked about this today. So, I do want to do a hardback or at least a spiral bound, but it would be kind of a hardback, a Ninja Foodi cookbook. With color pictures. I would definitely do that. And I was just thinking about that today. The big thing is I don't know what to call it because I can't call it Ninja Foodi, right? I cannot call it Ninja Foodi cookbook. With the Ninja Combi, I can call it Combi cooking or something like that. I can't call it foodie cooking there's so many Ninja Foodies. There's so many different appliances that are called Ninja Foodi, the grill, the pressure cooker, all those kind of things. So I'm really having a trouble because what do I call it? Right? If I can't call it Ninja Foodi, what do I call it? It's been a block for a long time. So if anybody has any ideas, I am all ears because I really cannot think of what to call it. And that is my sticking point. I've got a printer lined up. I've got I've got most of the recipes, not all, but a lot of the recipes. And I don't know what to call it. And without a title, how do you publish it? It has to have a title. I just don't know what to do. So if you guys think of it, let me know. I thought if I was going to do one for the Speedy, I could do, Speedy Cooking with Louise or something like that. And then put down below, all recipes made in the Ninja Speedy. That's fine. I can use Ninja Speedy as a subtitle, just can't be in the main title. But with the Ninja Foodi, I'm just at a loss. I'm totally at a loss. If they only had one Ninja Foodi appliance, it might be a little bit different. But with all of them, I have to be very descriptive. So anyway, oh gosh. Wendy, are you talking about laminated for a cookbook? Well, I wouldn't call it laminated. I mean, it's really printed. Like, it's not really I don't know if that's what you're referring to. But yeah, it's not really laminated like you would laminate a piece of paper. It's really printed. I mean, it would have a cover that wouldn't, disintegrate if you dropped, sauce on it or something. But anyway, yeah. Hi, Alyssa. How are you? Oh, and Bonnie says I gave away my IP so I could buy my Ninja Foodi. It does so much more. It does. Now, these new IPs, Instant Pots, they do, I guess, as much as the Ninja Foodi does. I've not actually compared, though. Like, I don't know if they sous vide. I think they do, but I'm not positive on that. I'll have to compare the features. But yeah, I'm just kind of bummed about that whole thing. It just doesn't seem right. Like, in my opinion, I don't know how true this is, but prior to the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper, the only thing I knew about Ninja was blenders and maybe coffee makers. Maybe I don't think I had a coffee maker though, but I did have their blenders and maybe even a food processor at one point. And I always thought they had great blenders, but I never thought of them as, a small appliance company or anything. Like, I thought they pretty much like Shark. They do the Shark Ninja. They do the vacuums and things like that. Right. So I feel like the Ninja Foodi, like, put them on the map for appliances. Like, it just took off like wildfire. So to have them phase it out just 5 years later, I think it's been about 5 years, might be 6, seems just crazy. But what can we do? What can we do? Christina, I know you have. I've thought about you. I've actually woken up thinking about how I failed to respond to you on this one. So I'm going to get to that in just a minute. I don't even know if I have a better answer for you, Christina, though, honestly. RMM, I tried your baked ziti last night for dinner and your recipe was top notch. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's always good to hear. Thank you. I'm looking forward to your next recipe. Awesome. And that's in the Ninja Combi, right? That's the one in there. I think I have something else that's kind of similar in the Ninja Foodi, but it has a bechamel sauce on top. So I'm not sure which one you tried. I don't even know if I call it baked ziti in the Ninja Foodi. I'm not really sure. It's hard for me to keep up because I have like 500 and some recipes or more than that. Okay, so several weeks ago, probably a month ago, Christina asked this question and I was trying to explain it and I was kind of stumbling over my words and I wasn't really getting it out correctly. And I told her that I would get back to it the next week that I did the Q&A and I didn't. I even said that I would demonstrate it on a Tasty Tuesday and I didn't. And it literally has like woken me up at night thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to do this. I have to do this. So, I know kind of just instinctively why it breaks, but I wanted to kind of get a little bit more information for you. And it is temperature control mostly. So because you're trying to put together two fats, I think that was what we were talking about, right? You were making either a cheese sauce. So we've got milk with fat in it, and then we've got the cheese with fat in it. Or this can happen when you're doing a different kind of like a butter emulsion or something like that. And a lot of it has to do with how hot it is. And again, I'm not explaining it very well, but if you heat it too fast, it tends to break. Now, some you can actually just whisk back together, just lower the heat, and you can whisk them back together. But I want to really do a demonstration on this because I want to show people how it breaks and how to fix it, right? Because a lot of times you can just fix it. And I wish you could remind me what sauce you were making. Were you doing a bechamel? I doubt that because a roux, when you do a flour and fat base to your sauce, it's more stable and it doesn't break as easily. And anybody else that wants to chime in with answers, that might actually have a little bit more to add than I do. Like, because again, I just sometimes when you deal with things all the time and you're like, oh, my sauce broke and I got to do this, it's hard to explain like why it happens and how to fix it. But I could show you really easily. Okay, Leanne's got a question. Do you like the Ninja Possible cooker? I do. I like it a lot. I mean, it wouldn't be my go-to appliance as far as like if I had to pick one. Still, if I had to pick only one, it would be the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper. And then if I had to pick a second one, it would probably be the Ninja Combi or the Ninja Woodfire. I always go back and forth between those two because I really like the Ninja Woodfire smoker and grill outside. I love it. But the Ninja Possible cooker, I like for, what did I do? So the other day I tested a recipe for apple cider in it. And then I also, what did I just did a recipe in it? What recipe did I do in it? I don't remember. Did it just come out? I can't keep all this stuff straight. Oh, I just did slow cooker chicken, what was it? Chicken corn chowder. And I did that in the Possible cooker. And just to give you an idea of differences, because I tested it in the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper using slow cook though. And I tried it in the Ninja Possible cooker using slow cook. In the Ninja Possible Pro cooker, it took 3 hours from frozen chicken breasts. So everything kind of went in frozen, like the corn was even frozen, things like that. It took 3 hours to get it completely done. And then ready to serve. In the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper, it took 5 on high. Both of them were on high. So it is much quicker than the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper. And that can be a fine thing, like with soup and things like that. That's great. But it can also be a bad thing. Sometimes if you are cooking things too fast in a slow cooker, you don't have the results that you want. So, but with the Ninja Possible cooker, you could probably go on low. Whereas with the Ninja Foodi, a lot of times you really don't want to go on low, slow cook for a lot of meats that need to break down because it just doesn't keep the temperature high enough to do that, in my opinion. All right. John, you're so funny. Relieving the pressure from pressure cooking. That's so funny. That's cute. I'm just not sure if that's a cookbook title. And I think that it would be, I don't know. It reminds me of Pressure Luck Cooking. I think that's who writes cookbooks for the Instant Pot. So I didn't really want it to be, anything like that. Barb, I can't use the word foodie. Not at all. It's trademarked. I can use it underneath, but I can't use it. I can't use it as an actual title in a cookbook name. It's against the legal department at Ninja. So, and like, I mean, I guess I could. And then if they wanted to come after me, but I don't want anybody coming after me because I know that you can't do it. I know that, people shouldn't do it. I mean, people do it all the time. There's so many Ninja cookbooks that have the name in the title, but it's not right? It's not right to do. And we know that it's copyrighted. You can't do it without permission, written permission. And a friend of mine actually contacted legal to try to get written permission to do it. And she was told, no, absolutely not. So any Ninja Foodi cookbooks out there, or Ninja Woodfire, Ninja Creamy, anything that's called that and isn't actually published by Ninja or a direct representative from Ninja, like Kenzie. Kenzie can put those in her cookbook. She works for Ninja. There was a chef, and I don't remember his name, and he has a Ninja Foodi cookbook, and that was Justin Warner. And that was fine. That Ninja approved, that, and he's celebrity chef, right? So Ninja approved that. Ninja isn't going to approve Louise's cookbook, though. So yeah, any other ones are just done without permission. So I don't want to be that person. So I want to do it correctly. But of course, that's making me not do it at all. Okay, Cooking with Louise. I've actually thought of that, Barb. I've thought about calling it Simply Cooking with Louise, and then recipes made in the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper. So I have really thought about that because I have a Facebook group called Simply Cooking with Louise, and Simply Cooking is, to me, the Ninja Foodi is one of the best appliances for simple cooking. So maybe that will be it. Maybe I'm overthinking the whole thing and I just need to do Simply Cooking with Louise and then put Ninja Foodi recipes. I've also thought about doing a series. Let me know what you think about this one. Where they would all be Simply Cooking with Louise, but then it would be volume 1, recipes designed specifically for the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper. Volume 2, recipes designed specifically for the Ninja Combi. Volume 3, recipes designed specifically for the Ninja Woodfire outdoor grill. So maybe that's what I do. Just keep it all Simply Cooking with Louise and do volumes, with the different appliances. I don't know. You guys let me know. Oh, the cat's meows deals. I like this. Where'd it go? I like that one. Under Pressure Cooking with Louise. Yep. I like that, Under Pressure. Okay, I'm going a little bit fast. I wanted to get Colleen's up here. Cheesy sauces with cream break up easily because there's a lot of total fat, right? When you're trying to do fat and fat, and if your heat's too high and things like that, you can definitely split your sauce. Like some butter sauces are kind of hard to do. But usually if you have a roux as a base, it's a lot easier. And a roux would be equal parts flour and fat that combine together. And that would be like a base of a cheese sauce. If you're not doing my magic cheese sauce, which requires a different chemical that works. Oh my gosh, it's such an amazing recipe. If you haven't tried it, look up pretzel cheese sauce on my website. I call it magic cheese. I should have named the recipe magic cheese because it really is. But yeah, Colleen, you're absolutely right with that one. Hi, Wendy. Did I say hi to you earlier? I don't know. Okay, so some people are gonna yeah, okay, so good. So people are kind of liking the volume idea. I hope everybody would be able to know that, right? I think I might run with that. You guys just kind of gave me permission to run with that. And Maggie, hi Maggie, how are you? Also likes that idea. So that's great. Okay. I mean, that makes life easy for me because we call it cookbooks will all be the same, right? So would it be Simply Cooking with Louise or Simply Cooking with the Salted Pepper by Louise? Okay, next question for you guys. So I'm the one asking all the questions tonight. All right, yeah, Wendy's episodes or volumes, yep. Oh gosh, George, you're so funny. Call it Barking with George the dog. Right. Oh. So John must have said something earlier that I missed. And Christine's asking, John, what does it mean to cook with high fat? And I missed that comment. So John was probably piping in to help me out with this question about the sauces breaking because I cannot figure out how to explain it correctly. That's just, I feel kind of dumb right now, actually. Oh, Colleen, box sets. All right. There, now we're talking. And Wendy says she's a roux kind of girl. Yep. Roux make things easy. It's actually sodium citrate, or is it citrate? I'm always told I say it wrong. Now, and then I can't remember. Sodium citrate, I think, but it might be citrate. Debbie, are you there? Can you tell me? Am I saying, how do you pronounce that? All right, Barbara's in for the volumes too. Awesome. Okay. I could do that. Simply Cooking with Louise. Okay, so we've got a Simply Cooking with Louise. Oh, and Leanne's like the cheese sauce. Oh my gosh, yes. I love cheese sauce. So easy. It is so easy. It's water, cheese, and this chemical, which is not a bad chemical. It's a normal chemical. Sodium citrate or citrate, one of the two. They're the same thing, but I'm saying one of them wrong. Cooking with Louise of the Salted Pepper. That's a little bit wordy, but I think Simply Cooking with Louise. I don't know if people know that name as much as the Salted Pepper, but you guys do, so That's all that matters. Um, that's a good question. Okay. Hi, Louise. What's the best setting for chicken breast in the Ninja Foodi Smart Lid? So the Smart Lid is the one lid model for those of you who aren't aware of it. And there is a steam crisp or a steam bake. And also, is there something else? Some of the models, I think, have some other ones. So if we're talking about a boneless, skinless chicken breast, which I'm going to assume that we are, I would either do it on straight air fry or steam and crisp. I don't like pressure cooking chicken breast unless I'm going to be putting them in a liquid and they're going to be like in a soup or with a sauce or something like that, because they can get rubbery really quick. So that's number one. Is I have not yet done a chicken breast under pressure by itself that I want to serve on a plate that I slice up, right? Uh, to my standards. So I say don't pressure cook. Sous vide, if you have that model, which you do on that, is probably one of the best ways to cook a chicken breast, especially to top a salad with or something like that. I mean, they cook perfectly, and then you just sear them. And you can sear them in the bottom of the pot or sear them on the stove or sear them on the grill. But if you didn't want to go to all that trouble, then I would steam and crisp, and they would probably, depending on the size of the chicken breast, obviously you would season it first. You put about, I don't know, 1/4 to 1/2 of a cup of water in the bottom of the pot. I would probably put the rack, if it came with the reversible rack, I don't know, would I put it on high or would I put it on low? I'd probably put it on low so it's sitting kind of mid-level, and I would steam crisp on 400 degrees for 10 minutes, and I would flip halfway through. It's going to be about a 5-minute steaming process while the water's boiling and it produces the steam. And then that takes about 5 minutes or so. And then it switches over. It might even take 8 minutes in the Smart Lid. So then it switches over to the dry heat, and I would keep it on the dry heat for the first side for 5 full minutes on the dry heat, and then flip it, and then just cook to temp. And if you're not cooking to temp, then it's probably going to take another 3 minutes maybe. Okay, hope that helped. Leanne likes simply cooking with the salted pepper. Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm getting this now. So Christina said she uses heavy cream and that's a high fat content. Yes. And lower heat, lower heat. So I guess walk me through how you make your cheese sauce. Are you just trying to mix fat and cream to make a cheese sauce? That is very difficult to do. I mean, if you keep your heat low and you add your cheese very slowly, you can do it. But a little bit of pasta water, if you're making like mac and cheese, a little bit of pasta water added in there will go a long way because it's going to bring in that starch. And that really does help bring those fat on fat type of sauces and emulsions, brings them together a little bit. So yeah, if you try lower heat, but if you're going to just really have that heat of your cream barely warm and then slowly add in the cheese, and it should work. Or go get that sodium citrate or citrate or whatever it's called, and you'll never have trouble again. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, this stuff's amazing. Okay. Wendy's saying merch. You know, a long time ago, years ago, I created tote bags. I created t-shirts. I created, gosh, well, I say it wasn't really me. It was Jeff. He does all that graphic stuff. And we were looking for wine glasses, and we wanted to put, keeping it real on there because, that's something that I say. And we just dropped the ball. Then I've got spice blends, and I found a place where I can bottle them up and distribute, put them for sale in case people don't want. I would still give the recipes away. I don't really care about that. But if people didn't feel like buying all the spices to make them, they could just buy the salt and pepper spice blends. But just getting it done. I can't find the time to get it done. So I've got lots of things that I want to do. So Louise Foodi Cookbook. Yeah, somebody else said do something that has foodie like Foodie in it. So you're not trademarking off of the Ninja Foodie with just the I. But foodie to me, I know people refer to themselves as foodies when they love food and they travel around and, they're a foodie and, that kind of stuff. But for some reason, the word foodie always rubs me snobby. So I don't really want to use it. I wouldn't call myself a foodie, even though I love good food. I just feel like a foodie is different than me. They're not me, So anyway, and I don't mean to offend anyone who calls themselves a foodie. You can call yourself a foodie. That doesn't bother me. It's like me calling myself a foodie. I don't know. It just seems odd. It seems weird. It seems off for me. All right. Oh my gosh. No, I don't think my husband's coming home tonight. Anyway, do you mind? Just give me a minute. Okay. Well, I'm single for the night. So apparently Jeff got a late flight, which was fine because I was like, that's great. Usually it's not great when he gets a late flight because I have dinner planned and things like that. But I'm like, oh, well, tonight's fine, right? Just go ahead. But I guess where he had to fly to, because he does air evac, medevac stuff, where he had to fly to, I guess he can't make it back before he times out, meaning that there's only so many hours in a day that a pilot can fly. So he doesn't have any options except he can't make it back to where he needs to be before he times out. So now he has to stay in a hotel wherever he is. I didn't even get the details where he is, but he's somewhere out there. And, he's safe on the ground. That's all that I care about anyway. All right. Colleen says she sous vides boneless, skinless chicken all the time. Yeah, I love that. I really do. I think it's just easy. I love sous videing because you just, you season up, put it in a bag, throw it in there, and you can really kind of forget about it. And that's really good for my brain because I forget about everything. I burned something the other day and Jeff says, why do you walk away? Well, because I think I can do something in 5 minutes. But then I start doing that thing and I get so into it that I forget that I've got something on the stove. The salted pepper cooks. Melva, I've thought about that too. I have. I have thought about that one. All right, let's see. All right. How can I get my coating seasoned breadcrumbs to stay on my chicken when I shallow fry, deep fry, or steam and crisp? Okay. So let's take it one step at a time. So on the chicken, in order to get the breadcrumbs to stick, you need some sort of what we would call a binder. That can be an egg mixture. And we're talking about shallow frying, deep frying. Steam and crisp, I'm going to tell you something a little bit different. But shallow frying, deep frying, you need some sort of a batter. So that batter could be an egg mixture. It could be mayonnaise, mustard. Some people do that. Anything that will allow those breadcrumbs to stick on the chicken. And then when it's put into shallow fry or deep fry, the oil will, sear it up and keep it on there. But on steam and crisp or air fry, it's different. So because it's not a superheated oil and so it doesn't cook as fast as deep frying or even shallow frying, you have to do what, at least you don't have to do anything. This is what I do. Okay. This is what my recipes call for. I do a flour and egg mixture first. And the reason for that is because when the chicken releases their juices, that flour in the egg helps to create a barrier so that it doesn't affect the outside, the breadcrumbs. And I would not steam and crisp anything that although people have and they say it works fine. I personally haven't really tried it, but you don't want to get your breadcrumbs wet before they crisp, or they're just going to fall off, right? So you make a little mixture of the flour, an egg, and a little bit of water. And you can look up my chicken tender recipe and do that. It's for air frying. And then after that, you put it in your breadcrumbs and it stays good. And then you let it sit in the breadcrumbs or sit on a cooling rack to give them time to kind of really adhere. And then you preheat your air fryer and you put them in your air fryer and you let them cook for however many minutes, and don't flip them too quickly. And be gentle when you flip them, because you can still knock some of the breadcrumbs off. But yeah, that's the thing. But don't steam and crisp, in my opinion. Use straight dry heat. So either a hot oil heat or a dry heat is going to be best for those breadcrumbs. Okay. Okay, great. So you are using a roux, Christina, and it's just your heat. It's just your heat then. Or you're adding your cream too fast to the flour. That's another thing that can cause some issues. So if you make your roux in a pan, and you're doing probably a blonde roux, so you're only cooking it for 2 to 3 minutes. You don't want it real dark because you're making a cheese sauce, or that would be the same for a bechamel sauce. Then you want to turn down your heat. You want to add your cream slowly, mix it, add a little bit more, mix it, add it a little bit more. Once all the cream is incorporated, then start adding in your cheese. Oh, Colleen's still waiting for her tote bag. I know, I need to do this. Okay. Sit rate. That doesn't sound right. Citrate. Citrate? Citrate. I'll never remember. I'll say it wrong. And I'm a nurse, right? I'm a retired nurse. Like, I know this. And when I was nursing, I never said it wrong. But something, I don't know, I said it wrong in the video, and then I got corrected. Then I thought I knew what I was saying. And then every time I try to say it again, I still can't remember which one it is. John says, I'll need a second assistant. Yeah. This person is good though. She's so good. And she is so fast to learn, and she wants to do more and more and more. And she's really interested in everything. So I am extremely lucky right now. I mean, I feel extremely lucky right now. So lucky. Oh my gosh, I'm over the moon ecstatic. I have been wanting to hire somebody for probably about 2 years, and I've never clicked with a person that was interested, right? And I thought, gosh, I'm never going to find anybody. And then it just sort of happened. And and I've known her and her husband for a long time. And I'm just really excited. I also have trust issues, and I'm trusting her with everything, right? So this is awesome. Hi, Marcella. Welcome. No, George, you're wrong. You are wrong. Classic bechamel is made with cream. It is Alfredo that is not made. Well, maybe not cream, but milk. Okay. So we're going to agree we're going to kind of agree on this one. I was reading it wrong. So I'm scolding you, George, for no reason. Anyway, so classic bechamel isn't made with cream. Make a roux with milk and butter and cook out the flour. So it's the roux, and then milk, butter, cook out the flour, slowly add the milk mixed. Okay. But be aware that cheese thickens. Okay. All right. I'm going to be, that's fine with you. That's fine. I can agree that it isn't made with cream. However, I have made it with cream. I have made it with cream and water. I have made it with half and half. I have made it with skim milk. I have made it with whole milk. I have probably made it with yogurt, if that's what I have, by mixing yogurt and some water, if that's what I have on hand. So I make it with whatever I have. And I don't usually have milk. So I usually have either water or cream. And so I just add cream or half and half. So I'll just add some water to cream and water it down some, and I'll make it. But I thought you were getting confused between Alfredo and bechamel, because they are totally different, because Alfredo technically is no flour, no cream, no milk. It is butter, cheese, and pasta sauce. I'm almost positive I got that right. But if I don't, correct me. Wendy says, I love to cook and make good meals. So do I. So do I. All right. Bonnie says she pressure cooks her chicken breast for her dog. Well, the dogs aren't as picky, right? They don't care. In the kitchen with Louise and Jeff. That's kind of cute too, isn't it? I should have Jeff write some recipes. The dogs are watching over me. They're probably wondering where Jeff is. And Barbara says the salt and pepper, keeping it real. Yep. Yeah, George, I figured it out. George says, oops, meant flour and butter for the roux and then slowly add the milk. That's right. That is right. That is right. And Wendy says, I was always told not to let cream come to a boil. That is true too. Although there might be a few. I'm trying to think if there's any recipes that I ever let the cream come to a boil on purpose. Sometimes it comes to a boil by accident, but I'm not sure if I've ever done it on purpose. Okay. I think we got it. Citrate, sodium citrate instead of sodium citrate. Sodium citrate. I'll try to remember, but I don't think I'm going to. Okay. Bechamel is actually a white sauce. I'm going to look this up because I'm feeling so dumb today. So bechamel is the base for a cheese sauce. So bechamel, it is a mother sauce. I should know this. And it is just a white sauce. So it doesn't have cheese in it. You can turn it into a Mornay sauce. And I actually think I know this off the top of my head. You can turn it into a Mornay sauce, I believe, by adding Swiss cheese. I think that's the cheese. And now I've lost my live. I mean, I know I'm still live, but I've lost the little thing. So the bechamel is the mother sauce, and then you can add to that. So it's basically just a blonde roux with butter, flour, and then milk. And go by what George says because he's an expert. Milk. But if you have cream, just mix it with some water. It'll be fine. All right. And Alfredo is totally different. Yep. And Wendy says she makes her homemade dog food. I have not done that. I don't think I've ever done that. Well, except for when Gus was sick. I did do that. And John says it's citrate and it's citrate here and citrate there. Okay. So if anyone tells me I said it wrong, I'm just going to say, oh, I'm just saying it the Australian way. All right. I think it's tomato. I think it doesn't matter, right? I think we can call it whatever we want, as long as you get the right thing, which you will, because it's listed in the recipe. But it is an amazing cheese sauce, and you can use it for any kind of cheese sauce that you want, any kind whatsoever. So, like if you want to do a nacho cheese sauce, which I actually do have a recipe in that post, you can just add some seasonings to it, and it's literally water or beer. If you wanted to make beer cheese, you could use beer. And whatever cheese you want. I've made a blue cheese one, which was really good. I've made the nacho cheese, obviously. I made a plain cheddar. I made Swiss. Trying to think what else I've made. I made it with beer. I made it with water. Yeah, I love it. And it's super easy, and it takes like 5 minutes. So John says that he'll teach me a lot of different Aussie words. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Jeff and I, for those of you that might not know, Jeff and I are planning a trip to Australia in March, and we are going to visit with John. And that's part of our trip. And the rest of the trip is going all over the place. We're going as many places as we can. We're going to be in Australia for 5 weeks, which is like the longest vacation I've ever taken in my life. And we are so looking forward to it that Jeff now comes in and he says, would you like a cuppa? I'm like, a cuppa? What's a cuppa? I mean, I now know what it is. But he's like, well, we could book that hotel while we have a cuppa. I'm like, who are you? So he's already getting into it. So funny. All right. All right. Well, what are we going to talk about? Got 8 minutes. And then I got to go turn this soup off. Jeff's not going to be home. So I guess I'll have a little bowl by myself. And then I will, I have to feed the dogs because he usually does that for me. And so I will help feed the dogs and then let them out. And then I will go to bed for the night. And I guess I'll see Jeff tomorrow when he gets off work. It happens. Yep. Let's have a cuppa. That's what he says. Yep. And I did say, John, I told Jeff the other day, I said, I have got to make those Anzac biscuits again. Any like, we're not even correcting ourselves. We're not even calling them cookies anymore. They are biscuits and they are so delicious. And if anyone has not made Anzac, I think I'm saying it right. If I'm not, John, correct me. If somebody has not made Anzac biscuits before, they're the best cookie in the world. Whoops, biscuit. They're the best cookie in the world. Let me just tell you. What's up with you, buddy? Oh, good. Barbara's making the clam chowder. I love that recipe too. Oh, let me tell you guys about what I did because I think you're gonna like this one. So I got a couple things coming out that I think you're gonna really like. So I was testing a recipe for sausage and spinach soup, and I wanted to put a pasta in it. So I put shells in it, right? Because I mean, it's a quick pressure cook soup, right? So I put shells in it and it was good. Like I loved it. It was very good. But I was like, I read somebody like recommended on a Facebook, one of my posts that I posted about asking about soups. Somebody said something about a spinach tortellini or maybe it was a sausage tortellini soup. And I was like, I want this to be a pressure cooker recipe. And I don't think tortellini are going to hold up under pressure while I make this soup. But I was at Sam's Club and I saw this big package of tortellini that are the refrigerated kind, not the dry kind, the refrigerated kind. So I picked them up and I said, well, Jeff, I'm going to test the recipe again anyway. So instead of throwing the shells in, I'll just throw the tortellini in and it either works or it doesn't. Well, it worked. And it is even a better soup now. The tortellini, oh my gosh, is so delicious in this soup. So that's coming out. And that was a shocker because I could just pressure cook it. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. And Lauren saying, are you retired from nursing? Yes, I am a retired nurse. I was an oncology nurse and a hospice nurse and then a geriatric nurse. So yeah. And I retired 5 or 6 years ago. I was a nurse. I think I got my nursing license when I was 21, I think. So I did a lot of time. I put my time in. I'm sorry, the dogs are going crazy. Then there was something else that I made that I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to love this too, because it is the best, like, and easiest, but I don't remember what it is now. What else did I make? Oh, cheddar broccoli soup. Oh my gosh, you're never going to believe how easy this is. Literally, I made it in the pressure cooker in like 2 minutes, and it turned out amazing. I mean, amazing. Like, as the broccoli was bright orange. It was bright orange, No, it was bright green still, so it didn't have that kind of icky boiled look because I did it a certain way. I'm really just so happy with myself about that. And I don't know. It just turned out so amazing. The broccoli was done perfectly. So it still had like a little bit of a bite. You knew it was there, but it also blended into the soup. It's just the easiest soup I think I've ever made. And Jeff loved it too. So I'm looking forward to those coming out. So Wendy, I've done a tortellini spinach sausage, but the tortellini exploded. Yeah, I thought they would too. And I even do an immediate release on this. So I thought for sure they were going to explode. They did not. I was so excited. Oh my gosh. So excited. And Colleen saying that love tortellini and soups. It really, really hearties the soup up. Yes, and you know what else it does for this soup in particular is it gives that salty little bit of cheese, which just pairs with the spinach and the sausage so perfectly. I mean, and there's like hardly any spices in it or hardly any ingredients because one of the things that's great about cooking with sausage is the fact that the sausage has so much flavor. You don't need to add a lot, right? So I think it's just salt and pepper, some crushed tomatoes, and some broth, the sausage, spinach, and the tortellini. I mean, it's like so easy. It's barely even something I need a recipe for. Hi, Christine. How are you? George, well, it's John's recipe that I was using. So I don't know if I have his permission to do a video on it. And I've thought about it, but it is a very important biscuit in Australia. And I would not want to misstep on that one at all. Like, I don't want to do anything that's going to, take away from that. So I don't know. I'll have to talk with John about that. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But maybe on a Tasty Tuesday, maybe, where it's a little more laid back. We'll see. And Christine, I think I just said hi, but I'm going to say hi again because I'm jumping around here all the time. Barbara, do I have a potato leek soup? No, but I'll tell you what I do have, which is so simple. I have a Colcannon recipe, and that has leeks in it, has potatoes in it, has some green onions in it, I believe. And all you have to do is add a little bit of extra milk to it and make it a soup, and you'll love it. It's so good. So good. And I might even have the instructions in there to do that because it's so good. Like sometimes when I'm reheating mashed potatoes, which Colcannon is a Irish spin on mashed potatoes, but when I'm reheating them, I usually add in a little bit of cream or milk or half and half, whatever I have. And sometimes I go overboard. Like I just, free pouring, and I ended up with potato soup. I mean, because literally that's all you need to do is add a little bit of extra liquid to it. Okay, John's saying I do have his permission, so I'll have to get with him and talk about that and just make sure that I'm doing it correctly. Right? I think maybe he might need to like I want to make sure I'm doing them right. So maybe I'll have to make them on camera for him or something, and then he can tell me if I'm doing it right or not. Like I every time I do something from another country, I'm always nervous about it, right? I'm always nervous about it, whether it's a Mexican dish, unless they just say it's Mexican inspired, because then it's an American fusion, right? Basically. But anytime I do something that is really British or, any other thing, I'm just so nervous that I'm going to like screw it up, get it wrong. And I mean, people always have critique. And that's okay. Everybody's, they're going to critique me, which, I got to tell you, this is hysterical. Now I'm Irish, right? And my grandmother was born in Ireland, and we have eaten Colcannon for a gazillion years. And I don't remember it as a child, but I called my mom and I said, Mom, I think I'm going to do a recipe for something called Colcannon. Are you familiar with it? She's like, are you kidding me? Your grandma used to make it all the time, and this is how she did it. Right. So she made it with they're just green onions, right? And that was the way they made it, and her Irish family made it. And other people like put leeks in it. I think I did both. I think I put leeks and green onions in mine. It went viral. It went viral on Facebook. And so many people were mad at me, like that I didn't make it right. There's no really right or wrong way to make that. Like you make it the way you want to make it, right? I mean, every Irish household made it a little differently. And I know this for a fact because it came from my grandmother, right? So I don't know. So people get a little offended, probably a little too easy, in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, John can be a guest chef. Absolutely. And John says we can do them together when I get to Australia, which would be in March, which means the recipe would come out when I get back. And I thought that's probably a good idea too. I have to figure out what I'm going to be doing. So I'll be gone for 5 weeks in March. I have to figure out what I'm going to be doing for Tasty Tuesday and the live Q&A. I don't want to be gone for 5 weeks. So I think we'll have to like plan different things. I'll have to look and see what my vacation days are falling on, and then kind of plan something on those Tuesdays. Well, one Tuesday I believe I will be on the Spirit of Tasmania, the ferry, overnight. And I think we board. Well, of course, I'm going to be in a different time zone, a different day, and everything else. I got to figure that out too. So yeah, I'm going to be confused for 5 weeks. We'll figure it out though. We'll figure it out. And Wendy made some chicken smash over potatoes tonight, comfort food. So yes, totally. We had mashed potatoes and chicken last night too. I did a whole chicken in the Ninja Combi. Amazing. Turned out great. And then I had some leftover mashed potatoes. It was so wonderful. And Colleen says, so funny that people get their shorts in a knot about how recipes must be. Yes, and it's because what they know. I mean, now there are some very traditional cooking methods that I think probably, that's my talk, they're bouncing the camera, sorry, that I think over the years, because we're not doing the old school methods, some people have been offended that we're not paying enough respect to the people that really made these recipes truly from scratch. And I mean, I can see some of that, but I try to tell people who really get upset about it. I say, look, you know what? If your ancestors or mine had the appliances and the cooking tools and the available ingredients that we have now, they would have done it. They would have done it the easiest way they could with the ingredients they had available, literally, So, I just try not to take it too serious. Barbara says, just relax I don't know. I can't relax. I can't relax for 5 weeks. I'm not going to be relaxing. We're traveling all of Australia. Australia is huge. It's going to be a busy vacation. But John told me right off the bat, you need to plan in downtime. So don't try to be traveling every single day. So we're not doing that. We are planning in some downtime every couple days. We're doing just staying at one place for a little bit. All right. So Circle 7 Farms says, I had to sell my Ninja wood fire. My apartment wouldn't let me use it. I was so upset. Oh yeah, that stinks. That stinks. You could video some of the cuisine you guys are trying. Yes, Hope. We could do that. We have a list of different foods that we want to try to find and eat. And I forget what Jeff put down, but we have a few of those that we're doing. Yeah, John's saying, so the difference will be 13 and a half hours when we're there. It'll be 13 and a half hours different ahead. So when I'm saying I'll be on the Spirit of Tasmania on Tuesday, that would be Monday here in the US, Monday for me. So I don't know how I'm going to plan the Q&As. We'll find out. We'll find out. And Colleen says, I made a crossover dish tonight, beef stew, cottage pie. It was basically slow cooked beef, cut up vegetables layered with the cheesy mashed potatoes, baked and tasty. Yeah, that's wonderful. And I love doing those things. I really do. Yes, and Wendy's saying pay homage to the traditional way and then do it the easier way. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to run. It's a little after 8. The dogs are getting a little anxious. They definitely want to eat. And I've got to turn off my soup because it's probably not soup anymore. It's probably all boiled out. And yeah, so it's probably just going to be a plated dinner, which is fine. I'll have tortellini, I'll have sausage, I have spinach, and I just won't have any liquid to make it a soup. It'll be fine. Lots of jet lag, I think, Wendy. Yeah, I think a lot of jet lag. And Colleen says, use what you got. Groceries are pricey, aren't they? Oh my gosh. I was looking at something the other day. Oh, I know. I could not believe this. I literally almost fell on the floor. I want to do a Ninja Combi Velveeta and cheese without Velveeta, though. I'm going to use my magic cheese sauce. But a Velveeta and cheese, macaroni and cheese in the Ninja Combi. So I thought, well, I'll have to get a box of Velveeta shells and cheese because number one, I have to measure out how much pasta is in that box. I need to measure out how much sauce is used in that packet. And then I have to test it so that I get it right, because I want to make a homemade version that is just like that, though, for the kids, right? For the kids that love Velveeta, shells and cheese, or the adults that love Velveeta shells and cheese, because I'm not going to judge, and just do it with a little bit healthier ingredients, not so many preservatives and things like that. I think one box was like $4 or something. I was like, what? I was shocked. Now at Sam's Club, it's a little bit less expensive, but I was shocked. I almost didn't buy it, but I did. And then I messed up the recipe anyway, and I haven't gone back to it because I don't eat that much macaroni and cheese. So, all right, guys. Bonnie says it was fun listening to your ramblings tonight. I know we didn't have that many questions, and the questions that we had, I kind of didn't answer very well. I've been really busy today, and so my brain's kind of a little scrambled. So I'm a scrambled, rambling mess tonight. Christina, good night, and I will give Jeff your best. And I don't know what John and George are up to, but they're laughing. So there we go. Oh, I think I saw something about I think, good night, Craig. I think I missed something. Did I miss something about haggis? Oh my gosh, that's funny. So yeah, so George and John are on the haggis versus Vegemite. I'm not going to mistake haggis for oatmeal. George. Now. I'm not gonna do that. I will eat Vegemite again. I had it here. Okay, now my dog, now he's really he's like, no, you have to go because I said so. And now he's getting under my chair and actually pushing me up. So it is time to say goodnight. Enjoy my soup. Yes, I will. Or my stew or my plated dinner. It'll be fun. Yeah, we didn't learn anything tonight except I was wrong and George was right. That's what we learned. George knows how to make bechamel a lot better than I do. So on that note, I love you guys, and I will talk to you next Tuesday, which is Tasty Tuesday. So we will be cooking something up with whatever ingredients Jeff brings home. So I hope to see you then. Bye. John, I'll give you a call in a minute. Bye. Good night. Good night, Denise. Good night, everyone. Good night. Say good night, guys. Say good night. I would let you come up here, but you know what happens. All right, you can come up. Come up and say good night. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, my gosh. You got to get up. Oh, okay. Say good night to everybody. Say, oh, I love my mommy. I love my mommy. Say good night. You got the camera. You got the camera. Say good night. Say bye, everyone. Bye. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. You're not even letting them get a good look at you and how cute you are. You're adorable. You're mommy's little baby. All right. Bye-bye.